Our next movie is named Half Moon Street, and it tells the intriguing story of an American woman in London, a woman who is both an intellectual and a high-class hooker. The woman is played by Sigourney Weaver in a role that comes right after her big success in Aliens, and it shows once again how many different kinds of roles that Weaver really can handle very well. She's a researcher in a foreign policy institute, but it doesn't pay her enough to live on, so she signs up with an escort agency. She becomes a prostitute, and one of her first clients is a member of the British House of Lords, played by Michael Caine.
Hi, I'm Lauren Slaughter.
An American, how exotic. I'm Sam Weller. Nice to meet you. Give me your things.
Sam Weller, huh? Dickens, isn't it?
Yes.
The Pickwick Papers? What made you pick a Cockney character as a pseudonym, Lord Bulbeck?
You know my real name?
I see you on the box, actually.
You seem to know a lot about me.
Their first encounter is purely sexual, but then they discover they like each other, and a quiet little romance begins to blossom.
Why does somebody like you go to the Jasmine Agency?
We men are stuck with the courtship ritual, and I just don't have the time for it. I was going to ask you the same question.
I need the money. And I happen to like uncomplicated sex.
A lot of women need the money, but
A lot of women like uncomplicated sex.
You know, Gene, looking at that clip again, I was reminded year after year after year in every kind of movie that he makes, Michael Caine never gives a bad performance. He is just one of the most professional and dependable of movie actors.
I hope he gets an Oscar nomination for Han and His Sisters, which was long ago in this year, but that was a superb performance,
Yeah,
too.
look at that one. 2 pictures in the same year, and he made a couple more, too.
Yeah.
It looks in that scene as if their relationship is going to grow into a cozy domestic partnership involving food, sex, and politics. But it turns out that Sigourney Weaver doesn't know the whole story about the escort agency that she works for and why they paired her up with this member of the House of Lords. Half Moon Street develops into a complicated story of spies and espionage and foreign intrigue, and before it's over, both of those lovers are going to be pawns of Middle Eastern terrorists. The movie's based on the novel by Paul Theroux, who was basically more interested in his book in the psychology of a woman who was attracted both to politics and to prostitution. And although this is a good movie, I think it gets sidetracked too much into the thriller stuff and doesn't have enough of her character. But the performances are great, and I think it's a real interesting movie for that reason.
That's my review, too. And I'm giving it a pass because I think it has 2 terrific performances and 2 terrific characters, and then it does put them in sort of a ridiculous situation. I don't care about terrorists, at least played at this level, because it's almost played at a comical level in the beginning of the film, and I never really buy them as serious, dangerous, threatening terrorists. And so what I ended up doing was just watching 2 good professionals, great professionals, work at their craft.
The problem with the whole last scene, or the whole climax of Half Moon Street, is this is kind of a sophisticated version of what we've talked about so often on this program, which is they give you great characters for an hour and 45 minutes, then they end it with a chase, and who wins the chase is the victor. It's not exactly a chase at the end of this, but it's a showdown. It's not true to the novel. It's a phony climax with lots of action and police and shooting and so forth, and who needs that when these people themselves are so interesting?
And the other film that avoided that is very similar to it this year, of course, is Mona Lisa, which has some of the same kind of human contact and deception going on and doesn't resolve itself into a ridiculous little thriller at the end.
Be a great double feature, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Again, though, I mean, because I guess we're both recommending the film, 2 very good performances.